Okay, so we've talked about how to define or figure out the name of the terms in a polynomial, and we just talked about how to name the degree of a polynomial. So now let's put that together so that we can actually name the polynomial. So the sentence here says a polynomial is named by two things: the highest degree and the number of terms. So it's kind of like a polynomial has a first name and a last name, just like we do. So this word "and," if I ask you to name the polynomial, you got to name both the highest degree and the number of terms. If you haven't given me the complete name, then I'm not going to exactly know the name of the polynomial. You got to give them both. Just like I have two Noahs. I have a Noah in Algebra 1 and I have a Noah in Algebra 2. You've got to give me their last name so I know which one you're talking about. If you ask me, how's Noah doing, I don't know which Noah are you referring to. So it kind of goes the same way with us. We have first and last names to identify us. Polynomials also have first and last names that you have to know based on the table that you just wrote at the top of your notes. So here's example 1. I'm giving you 3 sets of polynomials where you have to be able to count the number of terms and tell me, is it a monomial, a binomial, trinomial, or just a polynomial? And then you've got to identify the highest degree, and that will let me know, is it linear, quadratic, cubic, or what was the last, maybe even a constant. Now, if one of these does not have a name from the table, I'll show you how to write it. That doesn't mean it doesn't have a name. It just doesn't have a defined term, a defined name. You just say it's to the 10th degree or to the 12th degree, right? So let's look at number 1, or letter A. I'm giving you 5 minus 2x. You're going to find out in a minute. This is not written in standard form, but you don't even know what that means yet, so don't worry about it. How many terms do you have in example A? You have 2 terms, all right? So I have 2 terms, and what's the highest degree? Well, this is a constant, because it's just the number 5. This is 2x. This x has an exponent to the power of 1. You don't see it, so it's an invisible 1. So this is linear. So the name for letter A, the first name would be linear, and the second name would be based on the number of terms. Since it has 2 terms, this is a linear binomial. That's the name of this example. It's a linear binomial. Now, look at letter B. How many terms do you have? 1, 2, 3. 3 terms, and the highest degree is the 4th degree. So we would name this, watch what I'm going to do, 4th degree, and it has 3 terms. So if you look at your table, 3 terms is a trinomial. So if you look back in your degree table, I didn't give you the name for 4th degree, so that's why I wrote 4th degree. It's a 4th degree trinomial because it has 3 terms. And one more here, letter C. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So you look at your table and see, well, what's the name of 4 terms? The highest degree is 3. So the name of this polynomial would be cubic. That's its first name. And because it has more than 3 terms, its last name is simply polynomial. So this is important because you've got to identify your polynomials by their name. You're not always going to be given the expression first. They may tell you what it is, and you've got to understand, well, if it's cubic, I know the highest degree is 3. Okay? So this is your example 1, and in the next video, we'll talk about that standard form.